All right. So, hi, this is Matt Gleason. I'm the president of Galaxy Marketing Solutions. And today we're going to take on the daunting subject of how powerful is YouTube? Most of you are probably aware that video is a very hot thing these days, and everyone seems to have their face in a video, and more people actually turn to video for education and for just about anything. And while people tend to be generally aware of this, I don't know how specifically you're aware of the actual stats of what's happening with video and just how this thing is mushrooming and how influential it's becoming. So I wanted to take, with this webinar, I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to the subject and give you some real stats behind what's happening with this trend so you can really grasp the magnitude of it. And then I'm going to give you some things that you can actually do to leverage this for your own practice. So, just as a statement, YouTube is much more than cat videos, which is what it's kind of become famous for. But it's actually way, way more than that when you start to take a look into it. And in fact, there's a breed of people called YouTubers who have actually made entire careers out of building YouTube channels. And some of these, you wouldn't actually believe some of these guys. They have massive followings. Like, for instance, there's a guy who just reads poorly written comments that were left on YouTube, and he reads them like he's reciting poetry. And this guy has got like 3.6 million views on his videos, and like it's a broad-scale operation. So here's some facts about YouTube. It actually has over 1 billion users, so that's a seventh of planet Earth. YouTube and even YouTube on mobile alone reaches more 18 to 34 and 18 to 49-year-olds than any cable network in the U.S. And the number of hours people spend watching YouTube per day is up 60%, and the number of people watching YouTube per day is up 40%. So that's amazing. Those stats are actually from YouTube itself. And you know, YouTube is part of Google, and that, like, these guys live by analytics and they track everything. So these are very up to the minute stats, and I think it's easy to see that YouTube is really on the rise. So now I've been talking a lot about mobile devices and, you know, just how people run their lives from these things, and you really have to be thinking with this, and whatever you're putting out really has to be optimized so that it's a great experience on mobile devices. And I want to give you some specific stats about YouTube on mobile. So, does that picture look familiar? Like this is basically everybody. You know, when you go around looking just at the world at large, you see this kind of image all the time. And so, you know, kind of a fundamental thing with marketing is like, where are people putting their eyeballs? You know, and you have to pay attention because the society changes as time goes on, and people put their eyeballs in different spots. You know, it used to be TV or the newspaper or the yellow pages, and now, literally, you go out to a park or you go to a restaurant or whatever, and you get pictures just like this all over the place. So let's look at some of the specifics for YouTube on mobile. YouTube mobile stats. So once users are on YouTube, they are spending more time per session watching videos. On mobile, the average viewing session is now more than 40 minutes, which is up more than 50%. And the number of hours people spent watching videos on mobile is up 100%. Also, more than half of YouTube views come from mobile devices, more than half. And YouTube's mobile revenue is up 2 times. So this is a big deal, right? This is like a big territory to move into. All right. And I'm not going to stat you to death, but I just want to make one more point here, which is this is where video marketing is heading. So in 2015, experts believe that video will take up 57% of consumer internet traffic. That's the equivalent of almost 4x as much as web browsing and email. So totally dominating. Then by 2017, this will have risen to 69%, and by 2018, 79%. So we're obviously under a huge wave here, you know, and the more you're aware of this and are leveraging it for yourself, the more, you know, you're going to be in on it, and you're going to be able to capitalize on this trend and and use it to really grow your business, you know, and get your story told and get your name out and all of that stuff. All right? So, it's pretty clear the direction is towards video. Is that clear for everybody? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, now, as far as like the viewpoint, you know, in today's world, like what does that mean in today's world? There's a viewpoint that comes along with this trend, which every company has to consider itself a media company no matter what else it does. So if you are selling hot dogs in Times Square, or if you are a wellness center, or you do massage or anything, there has to be a component of your company that's actually organized up to handle this media phenomena. And so, like, you know, whether you do it yourself or like Lisa, if you want to bring in somebody to do it, that's totally fine. But the important thing is that you are doing it, because that's where things are heading, and people are going to totally miss the bus if they don't get going on this stuff. So what I want to cover today specifically is getting trained up in this a bit. You know, this isn't to say you all have to go to like film school now and, you know, and learn how to use all this equipment and blah blah blah. I'm not saying do that. However, it's just kind of it's a point of control. Like the more you know about this whole video thing, how it works, what a YouTube channel is, what are the elements of a good video, the more you know about that, just the more in control you are of that aspect of your company, and the more you can guide people who you hire to come in, or if you want to hire someone in-house, you know, it just puts you more in control and really gets you up to speed with what's happening. And just to illustrate that, there's a management principle that I want to go over, which is cope and organize. Now, like any practice, any business has got to be based upon an expansion formula. You know, you can't, like, it's an illusion that you can carry on at just this even level, you know, like, okay, let's just take it easy and carry on at this even level, you know, until we want to retire, because, you know, that's just an illusion. And, you know, while you're carrying on evenly, inflation increases, things change, and so that evenness is actually a decline, you know, in actual fact. So any company, any practice has to have a strategy for expanding. Like, expansion is basically the only way to go. Now, expansion is also a bit of an adventure, because as you expand, the weak points in your company will blow up. You know, it's an administrative law. As you expand, the weak points blow up, and you're going to have to do some running, and, you know, you're probably going to have a few exciting moments, but at the same time, it's going to be exciting. And so you have to be kind of oriented towards that. You know, you're launching on an adventure, and it's summed up as cope and organize. And you have, you know, building a practice is the fine art of cope and organize. And while you keep up with the day-to-day delivery, time and resources have to be allocated towards the organized steps that will move you closer to your ideal scene and put your future there for you. And learning the basics of making videos is an organized step that will put you on pace with where the world is going. Does that make sense to all you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, in putting this together, you know, I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Shoot my own videos of how to do this, or, you know, and actually I decided not to reinvent the wheel, because YouTube itself has put together a whole online creator academy that basically is free training on all the core stuff you need to know to put together great videos and to get your channel started and all of that. So my purpose in this webinar is just kind of like a tour guide. I just want to direct you towards resources which are going to help you create in this area. So YouTube's Creator Academy will show you everything you need to know. And that's the homepage for Creator Academy. You can just type, you know, go to Google and type in YouTube Creator Academy, and bang, you'll get this whole thing. And then within Creator Academy, we've got this thing, which is the Foundations for Success Bootcamp. And this trains you for free in how to set up your YouTube channel. And it just really, like, how deep you want to get into it. I mean, they go so far as, like, the lighting techniques and all of this stuff. But they begin on a little bit of a more of a basic thing of, like, what you should say, what are successful actions, and so forth. So going back to that idea of cope and organize, Like, it's really, really worth it to start to work your way through this material. And, if you have a marketing person in your office, or if you have a office manager, to just allocate the time. That's kind of the only way to do it. Just, okay, from 10 to 11, or, from 4 to 5 p.m. is my study time. And it's granted the importance, to actually sit down and get yourself educated, because you're going to give yourself a big advantage that way. So this is the Foundation for Success Boot Camp. Trains you for free how to set up your channel. And, just to emphasize, there's really no greatness without training. The way that chiropractor or an acupuncturist or a massage therapist or a dentist or anybody else gets great, or a pianist or a tennis player, they train, and they train professionally, and they allocate the time toward it. So even if you're going to hire someone to create videos for you, the more you understand about the process and what works best equals the more control you have over your own marketing and how to attract more new patients. All right. So does that all make sense so far?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. I don't want to rant too much about the training, but I really, I know from my own experience that staff training can sometimes fall out just due to the rush of business and stuff like that. But I see the practices and organizations that are really moving forward do manage to carve out some time for staff training, and it really moves the whole thing ahead. So now the question is, what do I video? So Lisa had a great thing, which is, I don't know if anyone else heard what she said at the beginning, but Lisa, do you mind telling the other attendees what you did there in Central Park?
Sure.
I'm putting you on the spot, but it's a great example of, using this.
Yeah, we took the doctor and we went to Central Park. We are providers and sponsors of the Central Park Runners Club. So the doctor took a chiropractic table to the park, and we interviewed all the runners, and then, there was some engagement between the doctor and the runners, and then he actually adjusted them there in the park.
Wow.
And then we highlighted their victories in their races. Some of them actually go on to Olympic status and are, bronze winners and all, so it's great promotion.
That's so cool. And so basically and you had, in your case, you hired a camera crew to come out and capture all of that action, yeah?
Yes, one person.
One person. Okay, good. Good.
Where
and
do
then
you advertise that? Do you advertise that on your website, or?
We're about to upload it on our website and through social media, and now it looks like YouTube.
Yes. That's so awesome. And whose brainchild was that? Who thought of all that?
Lori Jacoby, actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great.
Although we did have previous photo shoots there and stuff like that, I'm not sure if we had any video.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyway, the idea is that it's all really getting organized now and coming together for great, promotional activities. That's
super cool. That's really well done. And that's really in alignment with this concept of every company also is a media company, because a media company basically completely has its nose to the wind for what's going to be great that I can video, and that was a really great example, because you get these inspiring characters to begin with, the athletes, and then you get the engagement with the doctor, and then you get the doctor helping them, and you get the gratitude, and it's that's a great one. So
that's great.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing. I thought it was an excellent idea. And showing the interaction, with the doctor, and how he's, extremely proud to service them. Yeah,
that's right. And another important point about that is it really portrays the doctor as a real guy, and he cares about people, and he's a real guy, and that point of reality, and he's a real person, he likes to help, that hits people, and it's very persuasive, because then they want to work with him, and they see what's happening with him. So that's very well done, and it's a great example of thinking like a media company where you're I mean, literally these things have to be dreamed up, and you have to have the staff kind of rallied around, the staff out in their lives or in the office, when they take note of something that could be a good opportunity, that they're actually bringing that to the table, and that, you're taking the actions to get that video and capture that, because it's super powerful. It's very persuasive, and you can get on your website and all over your social media and YouTube, and it can go to work for you. Like that event is what we call that's evergreen. It lasts forever, like a pine tree. Like all season. It keeps going, and that you put out something that's just a feel-good, good promotional thing like that, and that's from here to eternity. It's going to keep going, and you just put out more and more stuff like that. And your footprint on the internet just gets larger and larger, and people find you more and more, and it just works for you 24/7. So that's what I have to say about that. I think I made my point. So that's really well done, Lisa. And then to cover some other things, like patient testimonials are huge. A lot of it is like, it's about capturing the moment. Like if you can catch someone who's had a great experience and they're kind of glowing, maybe they've had some major work done, if it's a dentist, or they've had, at the wellness center, they've really handled something and they feel much better, and you kind of have that moment where they're glowing. That's really the moment to catch them, and say, and you can do it. People are pretty savvy these days. I mean, if they're like anybody else, they have their head in their cell phone, for a few hours a day like the rest of us. So I think they understand, the power of the videos. And it's not like intrusive or whatever to just ask, hey, your success with this adjustment or this wellness program you've been on is like, it's really something. And if you don't mind, we'd like to capture this. Would you mind just kind of sitting down for a minute while we capture just your wins? And then, and it doesn't even require a super sophisticated setup. But if you can video that, you've captured a moment there that it's just one of those evergreen things that will just continue to work for you. So that's patient testimonials. The other thing you can do is collect up the questions most people ask and do a short video to answer each one. That could be really good. You just compile a list and you just start to just bang out answers for them. And the answers should be short and to the point. Like, I suggest a video should be like 2 or 3 minutes. So you say, hey, this is the question and this is the answer. I'll talk to you next time. Boom. And that's also like in alignment with like the culture these days. They like that bang, they like, okay, cut to the point, give me what I want to know, and I'm out. And it's good to be in alignment with that, because then your message will be well received, as opposed to, a super long dialogue about this and that, and you lose people after a while. All right, moving on. You can go into the depths of your website where you have interesting content that some people perhaps never even see or read, but which is probably great stuff that they should know about and may be interested in, and you do a short video on each important point. That's another thing you can do. And then video your good works and charitable actions, like Lisa did. And then you can just do some fun stuff, fun events, office upgrades. Hey, we're moving, or just anything that's like shows progress, and it gives the viewer a flavor of the team and how the team, the staff like each other, and they like to work together, and it's a good tone to the team. Anything that portrays that is going to be valuable for you. So those were the media ones I thought of. All right. So now moving on, kind of like a judgment point. This is supposed to be a thoughtful woman here. So think to yourself, would I want to watch this thing? When you're creating these videos, like the video has got to be short, to the point. It's got to have some life to it. If it's just a doctor in his coat kind of going, and then it's not going to work for you the way you want. So just think, use that as a little point of judgment. Like, would I actually want to watch this thing? I'll take 2 minutes of my day and watch this, and I'll learn something. And it's energetic and it's fast-paced, and I get something out of it, and I'm good. So there you go. So the other thing that's really that I like to look at is like how do the top pros do this? And I figured I would look to YouTube itself. You know, YouTube is like video central. So how do they handle their own videos about themselves? And it was actually really good to see. So this is within their training program. These are really great, 10 fundamentals of a creative strategy on YouTube. And as you can see, like here's this one, it's 2 minutes long. This is a compilation, so it's 20 minutes. Otherwise, this is the longest one. It's like 4 minutes long. This is 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And they just come in and make their point and get out. And they're really good. I totally recommend you guys watch this stuff. You'll find it really helpful. Okay, then. So I've just blasted you with a lot of stuff. So I would like to find out, what questions do you have on all of this? I just want to make sure that I've gotten my point across of, like, this is a thing. You know, like, this is a thing and it's worth looking into. And I definitely recommend starting with that training, because it'll kind of, like, it should open your eyes and, like, generate some enthusiasm. And I bet your mind will just start to fly with different things you can do. And then and you just start getting those posted, and you're going to start to see some great results from that. So if there's no further questions, I think that is it.